morning, viewers. It's September 8th, 2021. I'm Glorian Patulak, and this is Iraq News. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic started in 2020, the process of education in the world has been changed. Schools had to shut down to minimize the spread of the virus, while students and teachers shifted into online learning with video conferences. It gives many disadvantages to many people across the world, and especially to those who live where infrastructure and social economic developments are not as advanced as other places. Even in pre-pandemic, the world has already been in a learning crisis. The World Bank Global Director for Education, Jaime Saavedra, said, and I quote, "We were worried about learning poverty before the pandemic, and also about the inequality in learning opportunities. Now the learning baseline is lower, but the increase in the inequality of opportunities could be catastrophic. The task of reigniting the learning process is extremely urgent." Viewers, the temporary school closures in more than 180 countries kept nearly 1.6 billion students across the world out of schools, and the majority of these students are from low or lower middle income countries. According to UNESCO and UNICEF, only 1/3 of the nations, mainly the high-income countries, are taking action to handle learning losses in the primary and secondary levels. Less than 1/3 of low and lower middle-income countries have reported that their students have returned to in-person schooling, which increases their risk of learning loss and dropping out. Most countries stated that they have used at least one form of engagement to encourage students to return to school, which includes school supervision, community participation, and financial help. The pandemic also causes the infrastructure development process to be delayed, and the inequality in this process brings huge disadvantages to rural areas, especially in the education sector. In Indonesia, the infrastructure development has always been focused on the capital city and its vicinity, mainly around Java and Bali. This brings discomfort to the public, especially those who live in remote areas or also known as treaty regions. Viewers, the inequality is mainly caused by the complex facilities provided by the government that can't or need to adapt even longer in these regions than in other areas. This development policy widens the gap of infrastructure development process between regions and creates multi-layered problems. And the lack of equitable growth policy causes a dilemma for national development. Because of the pandemic, education currently depends on internet connection, and the internet network is a crucial means to access distance learning materials available online. The unequal infrastructure distribution and social economic conditions in the treaty regions creates a digital gap and make access to digital education very limited for these regions. Based on data from Basic Education and the Ministry of Education and Culture, only 31.1% of treaty regions have access to a well-used internet network, while in non-treaty regions, the figure is only 61.1%. The government responded to this digital gap by providing a local area network for student learning, so that university students who are located within a radius of several hundred meters won't be needing internet quotas to download learning materials. This project will be carried out first in Papua and several other areas as a pilot project, while the rest will be carried out after evaluations of the results. Even though the government has plans to develop internet infrastructure for treaty areas, there is still a need for more practical short-term solutions so that students in these areas can return to learning quickly and the gap in the quality of education will not expand. Well, viewers, that's all the news for today. I'm Glorian Patulak. Thank you for watching. Good day.